it's really important to continue to tell these stories and have different people from different backgrounds, different ages, different heights, different weights tell their stories. It's really, really important to create more tolerance in the world.
Kristen here, and today we're chatting with Kat Graham about her brand new Netflix film, Love in the Villa. Hope you enjoy the conversation. Congrats, movie's out. Yeah.
I'm so excited. I've just been on cloud nine all day. Everyone's like, "Wow, you're really happy." I'm that girl today. I'm that girl today. I'm so happy. This has been a total passion project, and I love this movie. It was the best experience of my life.
Oh, I love
Easy.
that. I mean, you've described Love in the Villa as your dream role in your dream place. So, what made this film stand apart for you?
It's not just that it was shot in Verona, Italy. It's not just the fashion was so fun. It's not just the food. It's not just that. I had an incredible director who wrote this awesome movie that I laughed and I cried when I was making. And it was the people, it was the crew, it was working with Tom and Laura Hopper. It was all of those. It was the people and what we were doing. We had a really great, fun script. And I think that the love that we felt all as a group, I think people will feel when they watch it.
You already mentioned some of the stellar cast, Tom and Laura Hopper, Raymond Ablack. What was it like working with all of them? And like, did you learn anything new on the set?
I learned a lot. I learned a lot about like trusting myself. I've learned a lot about comedy and timing, and that I think a lot of times when we think of Hollywood, a lot of people have stars in their eyes and they think it's so glamorous and all of these things. And then you get to set and you get to these experiences and you deal with a producer who's being a bully or a disrespectful actor or, bad writing or, inexperienced directors. And it just kind of chips away at your dreams. And for me, I can honestly say that that happened too. I had big stars in my eyes. I've been acting since I was 5. And in the 20 plus years that I'd been acting, I never had like an overall all around great experience. There was always like one thing that was off, whether it was a person or the material or something. And this was the first movie in my entire career where everything from the studio, Netflix, who I'm obsessed with, the writing, the directing, the wardrobe, the cast, the caterers, the producers, like everyone was awesome and amazing. And I'm like, oh, okay, it does exist. Like these kinds of people and this kind of formula does exist. And it was like lightning in a bottle. It really was.
Well, I love that it was such a positive experience all around, especially
Yeah,
I feel like
it
we can
was
all
great.
get jaded nowadays, just the
and
world.
and there's a reason to get jaded because you get so disappointed by so many different projects and so many different things that you're just like, you know what, I'm not going to care as much. And I don't want to be that way. I want to keep caring. I want to keep getting excited about things and have real gratitude for the things, the blessings that I get in my career.
You mentioned the comedy, and this is a really fun film where it really balances that comedy and the romance really well. And you
Mhm.
guys are just hilarious together. So, could you talk a little bit about some of those wild antics that you get up to and some of that comedy? And was any of that like really challenging in that sort of war of the villa between you and Tom?
Tom and I had a great time talking about scenes. We rehearsed certain moments because there's a lot of physical comedy. So we would play around with different ideas and support each other in that. And that's really, really great to have an actor who's willing to play. And Mark, obviously, he directed the shit out of this. He's just so amazing. And he's so funny. Sometimes I would hear him by like Video Village just going, he'd like laugh through his nose, and I would just hear, and I'm like, oh, we got one. We got one.
You had so many like hilarious moments together, and
Yeah.
so much, different antics and going around Verona. Did you have a favorite moment while filming?
I love Lake Garda. Lake Garda is just a really special place that you'll see in the movie. I'm also a total tourist in real life. Like I've gone back to Verona since filming and done all the touristy things that I didn't have time to do while I was filming. Like really just stand in line and go visit Juliet's balcony and um, all of those things. So yeah, I love all the touristy stuff. I'm a sucker for it.
What do you just hope people take away from Love in the Villa?
A lot of times I look at the things I've done and I've been like, well, I hope that they can see themselves watching this movie, because I didn't have anyone that was young, black, funny. Like I didn't have that when I was younger. I wasn't able I There weren't shows like that really. Not in film. I mean, we had like Moesha and like stuff like that, but I didn't have like this. So I hope that people see themselves in it. But if I think about like from a grand scheme of the universe and why God would choose me to do this kind of movie and what would be my message after all is said and done, the movie's out, like what am I supposed to say when I get asked that question? And I think the answer is stop trying to control everything. Some things are destiny, and it might not look how you want it to look, but if you trust the universe and you trust yourself a bit, things will happen that you couldn't have even imagined. That'll make your life so magical and amazing and beautiful, and let love win. I think that's the message. Trust the universe.
I love that. And I really love what you said about being able to see like a young funny black girl in a romantic comedy. Like you're right, like we haven't gotten to see things like that in the past. And I feel like in most recent years we are finally starting to see this change.
Yeah, Netflix had made it a priority pretty early on that they wanted to show a lot of diversity, a lot of different storytelling, multi-dimensional characters in every form, and helping tell LGBTQ stories, Latinx stories, Black girl, Black man, like all of these different, because we're living and we're existing, and we want to create more love and tolerance and diversity and acceptance in the world. And a lot of that comes from what we're watching at home. So I think that it's really important to continue to tell these stories and have different people from different backgrounds, different ages, different heights, different weights tell their stories. It's really, really important to create more tolerance in the world.
Is that something that you focus on or think about when
Yeah,
you're choosing
I think
projects?
about it all the time. I'm like, what does this movie say? What does this show say? If I go on this show, like what does that have to do with making the world better, or a more patient place, a more loving place? Am I actually going to be bringing anything or being of service to the world if I do this role? If not, let it go to somebody else. Let them do it. Yeah, I won't even audition for anything that I don't feel like is like in alignment with God or the universe or what my path I think is supposed to be. I won't do it.
I
I'll never be successful if I do things from the wrong place.
I love that. I love that takeaway. I'm gonna take that with me. Um,
Take it.
Thank you so much for your time and congratulations.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the movie.
Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!